In entertainment news, they were one of the biggest bands in the 80s until they broke up and Phil Collins went out on his own. Now, as David Daniel shows us, they're getting back together.
I can dance, I can talk. Only thing about me is the way I walk.
They're putting the band back together. Genesis is reuniting for the first time in 13 years. Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks broke the news on BBC Radio. They'll perform a series of shows across the UK this year. The trio last performed together in 2007. It's been 14 years since the Dixie Chicks' last album, but that's about to change. The country trio just released Gaslighter, the first single off their upcoming album of the same name. The album is set for release May 1st.
Where's 007?
No Time to Die was the only wide-release film set to debut Easter weekend. When MGM pushed the Bond pick back to November, it left a big hole, which has been filled by Trolls. Deadline reports Universal quickly moved its animated sequel Trolls World Tour from its scheduled debut date of April 17th to April 10th, the date No Time to Die vacated. We'll see whether other release date changes follow. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Also making entertainment headlines, Katy Perry is pregnant. The singer revealed her baby bump at the end of her Never Worn White music video, which dropped last night. The 35-year-old told fans on Instagram that both her album and her baby are due this summer. Perry has been dating actor Orlando Bloom since 2016. This is her first child. Well, that is it for KPRC Channel 2 News Midday. Thanks for joining us. KPRC Channel 2 News at noon starts now.
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at noon.
Fort Bend County says the novel coronavirus is here. Right now at noon, what we know about the patient and the country's plan to try to prevent any other cases. Preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best. Harris County officials laying out its plans if a coronavirus case is confirmed in Harris County. And a teacher in trouble, a former Clear Creek ISD teacher facing serious charges today ahead, what she's accused of. But we begin with growing concerns about the coronavirus crisis in Fort Bend County. Good afternoon, I'm Sophia Ojeda. Yesterday, we learned that the county has its first presumptive positive case. Although that positive case still needs to be confirmed by the CDC, health officials are taking precautions to limit the possible spread of the virus. Channel 2's Brittany Jeffers has the latest.
That patient is 70 years old and recently traveled abroad. Now, health officials say they are still waiting on results from the CDC, and people who live in Fort Bend County tell me they're waiting as well.
I am concerned, but at the same time, I'm trying not to let it affect my daily life. So I still go out and do things.
Personally, I think it's blown way out of proportion.
Channel 2 found a lot of varying responses this morning after health officials announced the first presumptive positive case of COVID-19 in Fort Bend County.
I know my parents are concerned, and we're concerned for the older people in the generation.
Practice good hygiene, and they do the best they can. That's all you can do.
The 70-year-old patient is currently hospitalized and in stable condition. Health officials say he tested positive after he traveled abroad and then became ill upon returning to the United States.
As this case was associated with travel, at this time, we still have no evidence of community spread.
We are encouraging our families to follow the federal government's travel advisories.
Fort Bend ISD is also trying to stay a step ahead. In this video message to parents last night, the superintendent says they've taken all precautionary measures to prevent the spread of communicable diseases and will continue to hold classes at this time. As we go into spring break and families travel both domestically and abroad, he's given permission to stay home and self-quarantine without penalties of unexcused absences. While officials believe this situation appears to be isolated, many in the county are taking the preventative measures seriously.
I've been washing my hands a lot.
I just keep reminding my kids to wash their hands thoroughly.
Officials say that they expect to receive those results back from the CDC within the next day or two. Here in Fort Bend County, I'm Brittany Jeffers, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
This afternoon, Harris County says it's at the ready if and when a case arises. Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo and other county officials discussed how it's preparing for the virus today. Channel 2's Hannah McKenzie has the details.
Sophia, that meeting wrapped up just about an hour ago. County Judge Lena Hidalgo and basically the head of every response team in the city of Houston and Harris County were here to discuss the what-ifs, the worst-case scenarios in an effort to get ahead of the coronavirus and any possible outbreak.
Right now, we know the origins of this one case. We have other cases that we're testing. Eventually, the reality of it is one of them is going to come back positive at some point. But all of the cases we're testing right now, we know the origin, and we are contacting any folks that are involved in those cases to try and contain.
Dr. Peirce with the Houston Health Department was also here, and he told us containing the coronavirus ultimately lands within our hands. He mentioned SARS and MERS, even the Ebola virus, weren't contained by a vaccine. They only got under control when people began taking precautions. Of course, that means not coughing into your hands, frequently washing your hands with soap and water, and not just relying on hand sanitizer. But ultimately here, most importantly, the biggest takeaway of the day is these officials do not want you to panic. They say there are currently no cases within Harris County, and they are all hands on deck to help that one case that has been reported in Fort Bend. But if you at home feel any kinds of signs or symptoms, you are urged to contact your physician or healthcare provider. Reporting from the TransStar building, Hannah McKenzie, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Some good tips. All right, thank you, Hannah. We're also still waiting for results on a possible novel coronavirus case at Rice University. Test results were sent to the CDC earlier this week for a researcher who traveled overseas. Those results are expected to come back today or tomorrow. That researcher had contact with 17 others at Rice University who are all being asked to self-quarantine for now. Meanwhile, 4 UH students and 2 staffers also being required to self-quarantine by the university. This after they traveled overseas to Italy and South Korea, 2 countries with larger outbreaks. 2 others will be returning this week as well and will also be asked to self-quarantine. Governor Greg Abbott expected to discuss the state's testing capabilities for coronavirus. He's holding a news conference on the issue this afternoon at 2 o'clock. We will, of course, bring you those updates in our later newscasts. Understandably, many of you have many questions about coronavirus, and we are trying to answer all of them on our website, click2houston.com. There we have a growing list of some of the most pressing questions. Well, no weather woes today after a cold and rainy Wednesday. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for lunch on the patio, if you will. If you will join me, Cambrell.
Well, quite frankly, yes.
It is lunchtime, my friend.
It is. Let's do it. And some people will have sunshine. Some still have some clouds to deal with, but most people are getting sun. We see sun up to the north. You see sun breaking through, but not in Galveston. Still waiting for that cloud cover to get on out of here. Mid-60s right now for them. Here's what's happening here. Those clouds are going to be moving on out. We're going to see low 70s for our highs today. Mostly we'll stay in the 60s, but we're going to peak up and get to that 70-degree mark later on. Chilly though tonight, but tomorrow morning going to be on those 40s once again. Right now throughout the area, everybody's in the mid now, climbing up to the upper 60s currently. 68 in Palacios. We'll see those winds continue to be from the northwest throughout the day until later on tonight, and we'll start to see it relaxing. Once we see those winds relax, the clouds are going to be out of here, and we'll see those temperatures start to drop overnight. Look at the big picture here. You can see the cloud cover. You can see it here, but not to the northwest. Like most of Harris County seeing more sunshine. It's down in Galveston and Brazoria County. You're seeing a lot more clouds right now. Woodlands hour-by-hour temperature 66 to 70 degrees around noon, coming up any time now. 69 degrees at 2 o'clock, partly cloudy, clearing out a little bit as we go into the evening time. We're going to take a look at that 10-day forecast, and I got a really picture that came into my. I got to show you this picture.
It's a good one.
You think so?
Yes. Got to tune in for that. All right. Thank you, Cambrell. Now to Decision 2020. The field of Democratic presidential candidates is shrinking. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren dropping out of the race. The exit came days after the one-time frontrunner couldn't win a single Super Tuesday state, not even her own. The Massachusetts senator has apparently spoken with Senator Bernie Sanders, Vice President Joe Biden. No word on who she may endorse for the nominee. We're following a developing story now out of Clear Creek ISD, where a former teacher has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child. 29-year-old Samantha McFerrin is accused of having a sexual relationship with at least 2 students while she was an educator at Space Center Intermediate School. According to court documents, McFerrin even gave one of the children a computer to, quote, keep the relationship quiet. McFerrin resigned from the district in February when she was under investigation. She was later arrested and has since posted a $35,000 bond. Also developing in Rosenberg, a man's death at a concrete plant is under investigation. Police say the man was found stuck in concrete at the plant on Highway 59 and Daly Road around 1 a.m. It's unclear how long or what caused him to get stuck. The victim's name has not yet been released. For many people, spring break means a time to get out of H-Town, go on vacation. But Houston police are warning everyone to take extra precautions when it comes to leaving your car unattended. Police are reminding folks today, if you leave your car for spring break, to lock your car. Make sure everything in it is out of sight. HPD went around parking lots today to peer into cars and found keys, tools, receipts, garage door openers, and even packages in plain sight. All things they say crooks will break into your car to get. And it's not just enough to hide your things. Police say you should just leave them all at home.
If you can, leave your valuables at home. If you have to leave them in your car, please secure them somewhere besides when you get to the venue, because there are people in those parking lots watching for people to hide their valuables in their trunk, and those trunks can be broken into just as easy as your car.
Houston police said there were more than 33,000 car burglaries in 2019. They say most, if not all, were preventable. Well, still ahead, picking up the pieces. Residents living in Tennessee cleaning up after the deadly tornado outbreak on Tuesday. Coming up, the latest in the search for the missing and how residents are lending a helping hand.
One of the signs of spring that's not one of those positive signs. We do have some pretty good pollen counts here. The tree count extremely high. That's probably the good news, though. Temperatures are nice. Sunshine is starting to come out, going up to the upper 60s. We'll talk about when we can hit 70 and the next rain in the forecast as well.
And an unusual standoff caught on camera. An Indiana police officer versus a feral cat. How this standoff ended. That's coming up next on Channel 2 News at noon. Welcome back. An Indiana police officer ends up in a standoff with an angry feral cat. Yeah, the unfortunate encounter was all caught on camera. There's the cat there in your bottom right-hand corner. The Greenwood officer trying to break up an argument between 2 people. Got into an argument with the howling cat, apparently. Well, then the cat jumped on the officer when he tried to get into his car. The feline ended up scratching him to the point where he started bleeding. Animal control eventually captured the cat, and the officer had to be treated at the hospital. The death toll from Tuesday's tornado outbreak in Tennessee is at least 24, but search teams are still looking for victims, and the number of missing people is way down. Now, survivors of that storm are trying to help each other recover. NBC's Sam Brock reports from Cookeville.
In Middle Tennessee this morning, historic damage. Devastation caused by a monstrous tornado as far as the eye can see.
Went right over us and everything just went off, blew up, it was gone. And that was all that's left is a half a wall and the door to the bathroom.
We're now hearing the first frantic 911 calls from when the twister tore through.
Every house built here is tore apart. The tornado destroyed my house and my parents are trapped.
It's the kind of storm capable of flinging a pickup truck into a pool.
We're still breathing, you know. There's people out there that lost loved ones, and it's a worse situation than we are.
With their neighbors hurting, people pitching in to help.
What's that been like? How many people have come out to volunteer?
Oh, my God, over hundreds. It looked like there was 1,000 people up there. It's amazing to see how many people. It's crazy.
In battered Putnam County, 90% of the massive debris field has now been cleared by search and rescue teams looking for the missing.
We have made some great progress today. We have decreased the number of unaccounted persons to 3.
Still, more of the tornado's victims were identified. Among the dead, at least 4 children under the age of 10. The death toll could have been even higher. First responder Andrew Farner summoned his neighbors and helped a half-dozen people escape with their lives in Cookeville including his own in-laws. Hours later, he was back at it volunteering.
Our emergency responders, I'm telling you what, that night was amazing. When they got here, it was like angels coming. I mean, those are my people.
You're an angel too.
I'm a member of this subdivision, and this is how we roll.
And on the ground level here, the breadth of the damage is hard to even describe. Somewhere between 125 and 200 homes just in Putnam County are either destroyed or substantially damaged. There are gas pumps that have been ripped up. I'm standing on what used to be a gas station. And down the road right here, we saw a gentleman walking around with headgear on, listening to try to find the nearest water break, which is somewhere in this area. The damage both above and below ground, meaning that a rebuild is going to take months to really get moving. In Cookeville, Tennessee, Sam Brock, NBC News.
All right, switching gears now back here at home. Weather looking good, but we want to show folks something to smile about.
I do have something to smile. I have to tell you, I don't have clearance from a mommy censor for this, but, you know, we did it anyway. This is my granddaughter. She's 9 weeks old today.
So cute.
Her T-shirt says, "The snuggle is real." Yeah, aww. She's a smiley baby. She smiles a lot. Don't tell her mommy I use that picture, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Kaplan Sinus relief camera shot. Looking at, we're seeing a lot more blue sky out there. I think we can all get into that, right? 65 degrees, northeast winds at 15 miles per hour. The dew point's 48. We're still a lot cooler than we were this time yesterday, 10 to 13 degrees cooler, in fact. 67 degrees in Tomball, 66 in Katy, 70 in Bryan College Station. You're the first to hit 70. We'll see more of those before the day's over. Still 62 in Galveston, where there's still plenty of cloud cover as well, with 23-mile-an-hour winds from the north and northwest. So still kind of breezy out there, even though we start to see that sunshine. Notice the clouds, we see less wind as we go to the north. 20-mile-an-hour winds in Sugar Land. All of it's going to be easing a little bit later on. But to the north now, 65 degrees in Dallas. Notice I've got the wind barbs there showing where the wind is coming from all the way through. 72 in Brownsville. So we're warmer, of course, down to the southern and the eastern part of the state. This high pressure right here is going to continue to move to the east. And as it does so, we'll start to see a return flow from the Gulf. That'll give us a few more clouds as well. But for the most part, right now, fabulous look here. The rain we saw yesterday is off to the east coast now, causing problems in Atlanta and South Carolina. We'll be moving up to North Carolina shortly. We still have that Pacific flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere, so that's not the cold stuff. So for the next several days, we'll be moderate in our temperatures. Here's a futurecast model looking at what's going on here. Stopping here tomorrow afternoon, sunny skies. We see some clouds intermittently, but going from Friday into Saturday to Saturday afternoon, we see breaks in the clouds as well going into Sunday. A little bit more cloud cover then because we start to see the increase of chances for rain. Going into Monday, there's a little chance of rain, but not an awful lot until we get toward the end of next week. This is going to, where our temperatures are going to be 78 to 80 degrees by the time we get to Thursday, Friday of next week, where our next rain comes through going forward. So here's Exact Track Radar looking at the clouds that are gradually moving on out of here. And when they do, boy, the rest of your day is going to be nice and sunny, and these temperatures are going to just creep on up for the afternoon drive. By the time we get to about 3 or 4 o'clock, upper 60s and 70 degrees around with sunshine. Going to be nice. 72 degrees for your high. Don't have any rain in the forecast today. Thank you very much. Tonight, Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Becky G performing here. The rodeo gets started at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 62 degrees. So temperatures are really comfortable except cool. Make sure you take a jacket. Over the next several days here, now we have these nice 70s. This is that time of the year. It's springtime. It's sprung. So temperatures in the mornings, tomorrow morning is going to be in the 40s, but the rest of the temperatures, look at that, going up to the 60s for morning temperatures and upper 70s and 80s by the end of next week.
Oh boy, love it. Thank you.
I knew you would.
I love it. Thank you. All right. Well, today on Houston Life, turning a weeknight favorite into a healthier option, plus something exciting is coming to the Houston Zoo. Our friends Derek and Courtney joining us live with a preview of today's show. Hey there, guys.
Hey, Sophia. Yeah, we have been doing this fast food fix all week long because whether you eat it on the regular or it's just a once-in-a-while thing to go through the drive-thru, there are some healthier ways you can eat when going through the drive-thru. Today, we're ordering pizza. Yes, we said pizza. We're going to do a thin crust. Can't give away all the secrets now, but tune in to see what choices we made to cut the calories.
Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Also, if you're going to head to the zoo, have you heard about the new exhibit that they have here? It's called Dragons, and it's going to feature a few dozen giant animatronic mythical creatures and also a few real dragons, you know, like the Komodo dragon or the dragonfly. Yes, all kinds of really great stuff. They are going to be in studio with with us today, and also some info on how to save you money on those tickets to get into the zoo.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Also, we had a late night last night at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, didn't we, Courtney?
A little bit.
Out at Willie Nelson.
It was so much fun.
We had a good time. We're going to talk about what we did, little of what we did anyway. We won't share everything on the show. But something really cool happening today is the Gold Buckle Foodie Competition.
Yeah.
Lauren Kelly is out there giving us a preview of that. And apparently you can compete in 8 different categories. These are some of the craziest, most colorful, interesting, unusual foods you can find at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. My advice, of course, every year is to go hungry.
Yeah, go hungry and bring Tums and eat everything.
Okay, that too.
Great
I'm just keeping it real.
Oh, you guys crack me up. All right, thank you guys. We look forward to seeing you at 1 o'clock. All right, switching gears now. Coronavirus concerns starting to impact consumers. Coming up next at noon, how some companies like Campbell's are working to keep up with growing demands for their products. We'll be right back.
Even easier.
Well, Campbell's Soup is increasing soup production to prepare for increased demand amid the coronavirus outbreak. This as consumers have been stockpiling shelf-stable foods. Yes, CEO Mark Klaus says the company has been talking with some retailers to figure out what demand might actually look like. Campbell said it is treating the outbreak as it would a storm or other natural disasters, making sure it has extra ingredients and finished products on hand in case of temporary port or factory closures. Same day and next day delivery services offered by the likes of Amazon, Instacart, and Walmart are experiencing delays in some areas of the country as shoppers stock up on items in light of the coronavirus outbreak. Amazon Prime Now and Instacart shoppers say the services have limited delivery availability or inform users that they won't be able to place an order until the following day. Walmart's next day delivery service also appeared to have limited delivery availability as well. British Airlines Flybe collapsed today after a plunge in travel demand, leaving hundreds of passengers stranded. Flybe has struggled with a series of financial issues, including the weakening of the pound and having to pay a tax on flights that many airline groups have long complained restricts growth. But administrators said the nail in the coffin was the lack of demand due to the coronavirus outbreak. You're looking live at the Southwest Freeway now. A gorgeous Thursday afternoon out there. Cam Brell will have a final check on the forecast when we come back. Alrighty, if you haven't heard about the overnight basketball sensation known as Thomas Snacks Lee, well, now you have. The student manager at Jackson State suited up, checked in for the final 2 minutes of the game, and the rest is history. He's now a viral sensation. Look at that. From way behind the arc. He was named the Southwestern Athletic Conference Player of the Week as well. Yeah, he's the manager. He's the manager. He got to get in, got a little playing time. Look at that. It's like downtown.
He's a big boy.
Yes.
He doesn't play full time, but he doesn't have to with that kind of range. That's
Look at that. Oh, good stuff.
Good for him. Good for him. Hey, head on down to the beach today. It's pretty good. It's a little breezy right now. 67 degrees at Bush, 62 in Galveston, 70 already at Katy. See the exact track radar? Clouds are there along the coast, but they're going to be moving out. When they do, plenty of sunshine. We'll get close to the low 70s for most everybody. So hour-by-hour forecast for you today. We're going to be going up to the mid-70s right around 3 o'clock or so. Get out and enjoy it.
I like that. Yeah. Thanks, Karen Brell. We'll see you back at 4. Have a good day, everyone.